Um, gee, I would probably say a conductor we worked with in India called Dr. Subramaniam. He's revered as one of the greatest violinists ever, and he did some strings. He did all the strings for Scorpio Rising, and we went to India to work with him. I mean, in India, he's like a kind of holy person almost. You know, he's revered as the one of the greatest violin, conductors, contemporary conductors ever. And it was, I guess, what he brought to the table. It was the whole experience of working in India, working with an Indian orchestra, and what he brought to the table. Really, I mean, everyone was very different. We've worked with a lot of people, and they've all been a whole different experience. But I think as far as being absolutely blown away with someone's kind of work ethos and spirituality and everything, it was definitely him. Yeah. Good. I mean, I'd love to be a full-time student, really. When I went to college, I started my bands really young when I was at college, and I started putting on parties when I was studying, quite big parties. That's how I got into DJing, and so I wasn't really working when I was at college. So to go back, being slightly older, was a great thing. I'd still be there if I didn't have to pay the bills. Yeah, I mean, I was definitely always been drawn to a lot of American photography. People, more like kind of color, since like Robert Frank and Eggleston, and people like Philip DeLorca and Stephen Shaw. There's a kind of there's an expanse of Americana that is this kind of desolate landscape, and that definitely appeals to me. But I think at the time I just wanted to get away as far away from London as possible, and it seemed like the right place to go was just to go across the water. Neither. I don't go to festivals really. I really like seeing music, but I like to see that I could go and see one band. I find it a little bit overwhelming, to be honest, festivals. As a punter, I love playing them, different story. But as a punter, I think if I go and see a band, I like to just go and see one band and absorb the band. And club music, I DJ, so I'm very, I have to buy a lot of contemporary electronic music because it's what I play out. I wouldn't say it's a very easy thing to find good contemporary electronic music, but so if I'm going to clubs, it's purely for work. So if I don't have a gig, then I'm not out. yeah, I'm a bit boring like that. I mean, I listen to music all day. I mean, my whole life's listening to music. Listening to music for work and for DJing, and a lot of my inspiration comes from the music that I buy for DJing. There's always been this repetitious kind of sound that's kind of come into my music, and that's very similar to what I play out as a DJ, even though they might be different genres. Like a Death and Vegas track might be like Silver Time Machine. It's classical, but it's still got a repetitious kind of quite similar kind of way, a similar kind of feel to a lot of the electronic stuff I'm into. So it kind of, I think electronic music the techno I'm into probably inspires the live sound of Death and Vegas a lot more than the other way around. no internet, no music in the studio, that kind of thing, but just equipment, you know. So, and sometimes sometimes I've worked differently, but this record I didn't want to be listening to lots of stuff. I just wanted to, you know, just sat in there with, you know, I got hold of all my old drum machines and synths and just exploring them really. And I think maybe because I didn't have a lot of references that I was listening to, I think maybe I probably drew back on the references that I grew up a little bit more, and that's probably why the music kind of sounds how it did. You know, it sounds like old Chicago music and old acid house and Syd Barrett and Public Image Limited. You know, these are kind of all the things that I kind of grew up, and I guess they're kind of embedded in my brain. Yeah, very much. Yeah, Black Acid is a band, and is very much about rehearsing. You know, I had the songs written, and then I got a band together and we rehearsed the songs for a year, and then we went in and recorded them in 2 weeks. And Death Vegas is like a studio project, and Black Acid, it still hasn't come out, but the record's finished, it's mastered, and the Black Acid record, and it should come out this year. But yeah, they're like two different sides to the brain, you know. Well, I don't know. I mean, Death Vegas is kind of, I think, has very much always been only me, really, because it's always been my band, and I've worked with different people. And you know, before Tim, there was someone else. And, I guess I kind of, a lot of it was because I was in America and we were just in separate places. And I'd written all the songs, I had all the music ready, and you know, people just, you know, I don't know. I just needed to do this record without anyone else. And you know, I wouldn't have made the record I made if I didn't do it this way, and I knew that. And Tim knew that as well, and Tim was cool with it. I mean, we were very open. You know, I was very open about everything. You know, I mean, he even came around one day, you know, to listen to the music before I mixed it, with the intention of maybe being involved. And I played him the song. Loved it, yeah. And I played him the songs, and he really, you know, at that point he was like, okay, I see you've got the songs to a point on your own, and he kind of understood why I had to do it on my own. And I also didn't bring anyone else from the musicians I used before. So now, I mean, you know, I've started writing the next record, and we'll see. Really, I mean, I never really know where it's going to go. You know, till the end. You know, when the record's finished. I mean, it sounds pretty good. I don't know. It's out there. I mean, they're really different. You know, like some of it's like really industrial, and some of it's kind of sounds like lost music. You know, the first electronic music. You know, from the '70s. So it's all over the place.